Hello everyone, I am Knofel Malhin, BS in Social Work student here in Holy Child Colleges of Butuan. And then my partner is
Reahlyn B. Magcolia, second year college, BS-ECED from Magcolia, Davao Oriental.
The Great Gatsby. This is the third novel of F. Scott Fitzgerald. He was best known for his novels depicting the flamboyance and excess of the Jazz Age, a term which he popularized. So Francis Scott Key Fitzgerald was an American novelist, an essayist, screenwriter, and a short story writer.
Fitzgerald uses many of these 1920s societal developments to tell his story, from simple details like wedding and automobiles, to broader themes such as his discreet allusion to Malhin as the source of Gatsby's fortune. Fitzgerald educates his readers about the hedonistic society of the Jazz Age by placing a relatable plotline within the historical context of the most raucous, gaudy era in U.S. history, which raced along under its own power, served by great filling station full of money. In Fitzgerald's eyes, the 1920s era represented a morally permissive time when Americans of all ages became disillusioned when prevailing social norms and had the maniacal obsession with self-gratification. The Great Gatsby represents Fitzgerald's attempt to communicate his ambivalent feelings regarding the Jazz Age, an era whose themes he would later regard as the reflective of events in his own life.
Fitzgerald himself coined the term the Jazz Age in the 20s. During this time, there was a mass migration from rural areas to cities, where parties were bigger, the pace was faster, the buildings were higher, the morals looser. Some called it the first truly modern decade. Dances like the Charleston, the shimmy, and the toddle were popular. As you can see on the screen, this is the book cover of F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby. So it is a novel written in 1925 that was set in the Jazz Age on Long Island. The novel depicts narrator Nick Carraway's interactions with a mysterious millionaire, a young millionaire, Jay Gatsby, and Gatsby's obsession to reunite with his former lover, Daisy Buchanan.
Major characters: Nick Carraway, Jay Gatsby, Daisy Buchanan, Thomas Tom Buchanan, Jordan Baker, Myrtle Wilson, George Wilson, Mayor Wolfshire. Nick Carraway, the narrator. He is Daisy's cousin. He facilitates the recounting of the romance between Daisy and Gatsby. Jay Gatsby. He is a fabulously wealthy young man. He is famous for the lavish parties he throws every Saturday night. Daisy Buchanan, wife of Tom Buchanan. She is Nick's cousin. Daisy is the woman Gatsby loves. Thomas Tom Buchanan. He is Daisy's immensely wealthy husband, an arrogant, hypocritical bully. Jordan Baker. Daisy's friend, a woman whom Nick becomes romantically involved a competitive golfer. Myrtle Wilson, Tom's lover, whose lifeless husband owns a run-down garage in the Valley of Ashes. George Wilson, Myrtle's husband, the lifeless, existed owner of a run-down auto shop in the Valley of Ashes, devastated with Myrtle's affair with Tom. Mayor Wolfshin, Gatsby friend, a prominent figure in organized crime.
I'll be sharing to you the plot summary of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Great Gatsby is the story of eccentric millionaire Jay Gatsby, as told by Nick Carraway, a Midwesterner who lives on Long Island but works in Manhattan. Gatsby's innermost mansion is adjacent to Carraway's modest home, and Carraway becomes curious about his neighbor after being invited of one of his parties. Nick soon learns that Gatsby is in love with Daisy Buchanan, Nick's cousin, and the wife of Tom Buchanan, an acquaintance of Nick's from Yale. Buchanan takes his old friend for a day in the city, where Nick learns that Buchanan has a kept woman, Myrtle, the wife of a Long Island mechanic. Gatsby sends a message through him and Nick's mutual friend, professional golfer Jordan Baker, insisting that Nick plan a chance meeting for Gatsby and Daisy. Nick learns that Gatsby, Jay Gats at that time, and Daisy had once been in love, but Daisy married Tom while Gatsby was in Europe during the Great War. In the aftermath of this, Jay Gats abandoned his old identity, becoming Jay Gatsby and amassing a fortune with the help of notorious criminal Mayor Wolfshin. Gatsby chose the site of his house in Long Island because it was across the bay from Daisy's house, from which a green light could be seen at night. Nick manages to get Gatsby and Daisy together, and while the meeting is awkward at first, Gatsby soon relaxes and invites Nick and Daisy back to his mansion. Gatsby and Daisy begin to see each other secretly with some frequency. Nick and Gatsby also become close, as Nick is one of the only people who continues to support Gatsby despite the myriad rumors that circulate around the man. Buchanan eventually confronts Gatsby in Manhattan about the affair, and the two argue at length about who is that Daisy genuinely loves. Daisy claims to love both of them, but she decides to return to Long Island with Gatsby, not her husband. Daisy drives Gatsby's car, but she accidentally kills a woman on the side of the road and then speeds off. It turns out that this woman is Buchanan's girlfriend Myrtle. She had only run out to see the car because she thought it was Buchanan's. Myrtle's husband blames Buchanan for the death, but Buchanan informs him that it was Gatsby's cars that killed the woman. The mechanic goes to Gatsby's house, where he shoots Gatsby and then himself. Daisy refuses to confess to her crime, and only few people, including Gatsby's father Henry, show up for Gatsby's funeral. As you can see in the screen, this is an image showing the plot summary of the novel The Great Gatsby, written by Fitzgerald. Also, the book became a romantic drama film last 2013, and it was casted by Leonardo DiCaprio as Jay Gatsby. It was directed by Baz Luhrmann. Fitzgerald's granddaughter praised the film. The film won as Best Production Design and the Best Costume Design in the 86 Academy Awards. As you can see, The Great Gatsby has a very long story if you're going to read the book, but then we will be able to understand here on the picture what is the plot summary or what is the story about.
What does Great Gatsby teach us? The moral of The Great Gatsby is the American dream is ultimately unattainable. Jay Gatsby had attained great wealth and status as socialite. However, Gatsby's dream was to have a future with his own true love, Daisy. Why is The Great Gatsby so important? Gatsby's story is relevant today as it was written because it explored universal themes: human fallenness, the hopelessness of social constructs and man's struggles with time and fate. It's the deeper meaning of the Great Gatsby. Gatsby's grand and lavish mansion symbolizes high lifestyle. It also shows the inner conflict of Gatsby and foreshadows his loneliness hidden behind his lavish estate. It also symbolizes his unbound love for Daisy. In fact, he struggles to reach at this position to win Daisy back.
The Great Gatsby is considered the great American novel. Fitzgerald's beautiful poetic prose, mixed with unlikable characters, puts an exposing light on a romanticized part of American history. Although regarded as one of the highest points of American literature, there are still many facts not known to the general public. Did you know these facts about The Great Gatsby? Let's now have some trivia about this novel. Did you know Fitzgerald's third novel was not highly praised during his lifetime? Many considered the classic worse than his first three novels. Fitzgerald only grossed $4,000 from it by the time he passed away. It's a character-driven novel filled with horrible characters, particularly the female ones. This was bad news for Fitzgerald as women drove the literature market, causing the novel to flop on its release. Did you know the novel was only popular after Fitzgerald's death? The novel started to become recognized after Edmund Wilson included it with Fitzgerald's posthumously published The Last Tycoon. Another one, Fitzgerald changed the book to fit the cover. Fitzgerald loved the book cover so much that he made the billboard with two female eyes more prominent in the story, perhaps not even creating the haunting image until after he saw the cover art. Did you know that it was almost published under a different name? Fitzgerald considered many different names before becoming to the amazing The Great Gatsby. Among Ash Heaps and Millionaires, On the Road to West Egg, Under the Red, White, and Blue, Gold-Hatted Gatsby, The High Bouncing Lover, and many more. Mayor Wolfsheim was based on an actual person. Remember Mayor Wolfsheim, the notorious criminal? Bootlegger Mayor Wolfsheim is a reference to real-life Arnold Rothstein. Rothstein is responsible for the 1919 World Series scandal, where multiple members of Chicago White Sox threw the game because of bets they had made before the game. This allusion is made clear when someone remarks that Wolfsheim helped fix the World Series. And for the last one, J. Gatsby was also partially inspired by someone Fitzgerald knew. Fitzgerald took the inspiration for part of J. Gatsby from his bootlegger friend Max Gerlach. When Fitzgerald's scholar rummaged through some of the writer's things, he found a letter from the bootlegger with, "Here for a few days, how are you?" and the family old sport, written next to a picture of Fitzgerald with his family.
Thanks for watching and listening. Hope you like our presentation.
I hope everyone has some learnings about The Great Gatsby, the book written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. So there are life lessons about this book, and hopefully you understood it. And then we thank you for listening, and also thank you for watching. God bless us all.